In the early 1980s, a social movement known as Farm to Table appeared on the scene, and one of the early pioneers was restaurateur Judy Wicks. The secret to her success boiled down to one simple ingredient:
building community. That's kind of at the heart of everything I do.
Born and raised in a small town in western Pennsylvania, Judy grew up dreaming bigger than her surroundings.
Growing up as a girl in the 50s was a challenge for me because girls were really prohibited from doing a lot of the things I liked. Everywhere you looked, you were kind of taught that women played a servantile role. Didn't want to be thought of as a sissy girl that just played with dolls and cooked and sewed all day. I wanted to be where the action was.
After college, Judy and her new husband, Richard Hain, joined Volunteers in Service to America, also known as VISTA, an organization aimed to alleviate poverty. They were first assigned to an Eskimo village in Alaska, and the experience helped shape her view of the world.
It was a real eye-opener. I learned over time that the Eskimos, in order to survive the harsh climate, shared everything. I came to understand that their happiness did not come from having money in the bank or having a lot of stuff in their house. Their happiness came from the security that community brings.
The sense of community became a catalyst in Judy's career. After she and her husband returned home to Pennsylvania, they opened a store focused on people rather than profit.
We called it the FreePeople store. It was a business, but it was an anti-business business. I decided it was going to be a nonprofit store, and we would just take from the store what we needed to survive, and not any more than that, and keep the prices low to serve our community.
The lifestyle and apparel shop became hugely popular among the 30 and under crowd. But behind the scenes, Judy's marriage was unraveling.
We lived in the store because we couldn't afford to rent a storefront and a business, and so it was a little intense, living and working in the same space. And I started to realize that I needed my freedom.
The pair ended up separating, and her ex-husband went on to turn FreePeople into the multi-billion-dollar global brand Urban Outfitters. Judy also took a turn that changed the trajectory of her career.
I drove away from what was my home and my business and my husband, and got a block away and went through a red light and got into an accident. A fellow came down the sidewalk and said, "Can I help you home with your bags?" And I said, "No, my bags are packed because I'm leaving my husband and I can't go back. Now I have to find a job because I've wrecked the car and need to repair it." So he said, well, he worked in a restaurant and they had an opening for a waitress. And I said, "Okay, I'll take it."
Over the next 10 years, Judy focused on learning the ins and outs of running a restaurant, La Terrace, in West Philadelphia, where she worked her way up from waitress to general manager and helped increase profits by 1,000%.
It was La Terrace that I really learned how to be a business person, and that a business has to make a profit, and that money was not a bad thing, and that I could use money in good ways in my community.
Ready to shake things up on the city's food scene, Judy decided to step out on her own and opened a restaurant called the White Dog Cafe, with a menu highlighting only locally grown ingredients.
I decided I would start an American restaurant. I was going to have all American beer, American wine, and I was going to buy my products from local farmers. Knowing who grows your food, who bakes your bread, who churns your ice cream, who brews your beer, these are the relationships that traditionally have formed the foundation for community life. So it was that I wanted to capture at the White Dog Cafe.
After opening as a small muffin shop in 1983, the White Dog Cafe quickly expanded into a 200-seat establishment dedicated to community engagement and responsible business practices, becoming Pennsylvania's first business to use 100% renewable energy sources. And Judy was one of the pioneers of the farm-to-table movement, choosing local suppliers over inhumane factory farming.
So gradually we were able to find humane sources for all of our animal products, and then I thought, gee, we've finally done it. This is going to be our market niche. This is our competitive advantage. And I realized that if I really did care about the farm animals, if I really did care about the small farmers being driven out of business by the factory farms, that rather than keeping my proprietary information, that I would share it with my competitors.
And Judy put her money where her mouth was, using 20% of the profits from White Dog to launch organizations like Fair Food, which connects local farmers to the urban marketplace, and the Sustainable Business Network, which is committed to advancing the interests of small businesses on a local level. She also co-founded the Business Alliance for Local Living Economies, a nationwide network connecting business leaders, spreading solutions, and driving investment towards local economies.
I really wanted to take what I had learned at the White Dog to other people and places. So it was time for me to be more of a teacher.
And she's working hard to pass those lessons on to the next generation of entrepreneurs through her microloan fund and mentoring program called the Circle of Aunts and Uncles. She also launched a grassroots campaign called Proud Pennsylvania, dedicated to creating new policies to protect the planet.
We all have a power to change things, and so I hope that what I do will cause more people to get involved with what the issues are and protect what we love is what it's all about. And I believe that takes me into imagining something better for the world.
Do you know a trailblazer? Let us know at nominations@modernhero.com. And don't forget to like and follow us.